to a budding bromance that is happening between Lou Bernardi and RHO.
Hey,
It's a
Lou.
beautiful thing to watch. So, Lou, you're up.
All right, thank you, Rob, for joining us today. Well, real quick question. This isn't my question, but how's the new bike that you got a couple weeks ago?
Thank you so much for asking. Yeah, I'm putting in the miles,
I'm
and my
sure.
butt's sore and my neck, on those aero bars is getting used to being down there for, 5 miles in a row or whatever it is. So I think I'm making progress, and I feel like a rookie, and everybody on the highway seems to be faster than me and passes me up. But it's
Awesome.
okay.
So my question, I have two. I'll ask both of them, and then I'll mute myself. But in the book, which I absolutely loved, and it actually spoke, and we were messaging each other throughout the whole thing. There was, your grit and your determination and your resilience really came out, but there were a lot of vulnerable times too in the different challenges that you went through in the book. You were disappointed in yourself a few times, maybe lack of preparation, which is something I think you really try to go overboard with the preparation. But there were a couple of times that you weren't as prepared as maybe you wish you had been, equipment or things like that. And you got help along the way in a couple of them from people who, I'm not that it was unexpected, but even a young kid, I think it was the Quest, right? Was the lifeguard one where you got helped out. If you had to pick one, was there one of the challenges that you did that without the help, you may not have completed?
I think for sure Kokoro, the 50-hour Navy SEAL thing. The Quest one, running on the rocks with the wrong shoes and the bottoms of the soles all sliced up and your blood coming out of the bottom of your feet on the rocks because you got the wrong shoes on. David Coy, who gave me his shoes, who's now a pararescueman. I was grateful for that. But I think going into that 3-year training for that Navy SEAL stuff, there were coaches at the place that I went to at SEAL Fit who I said, kick my butt. I don't want to be surprised. I need you to give me reality as I'm training. And they would say, all right, you're an effing loser. And they would just begin to get in my head. And if it wasn't for their speaking into my life at 66, 65, and saying, listen, dude, you're too old, but if you want to crush this thing, do this. And me listening, I would never have ever made it through it all. And some of the guys I like, some of the guys I'm not real pleased with even to this day, but they helped me get through it with real world experience. You have to remember, like in the book, every other word is an F-bomb. And they're bringing their negativity to see if they can crush my positivity. They want to get in my head and see if they can break my will to succeed. And I had never really been, as most of you haven't, in a completely negative environment nonstop. Effing loser, effing embarrassment, effing this and effing that every 2 minutes for 50 hours. But they told me they were going to do that. And they began to do that to me in training. Air Force is a little bit different. Navy, Marines has its own culture, and I'm appreciative for those guys mentoring me before I got in there.
Just a real quick second question, if you will. I know you have an Ironman coming up, but do you have anything epic or bigger or another challenge? Because I think knowing you, there's got to be something in your mind that you want to do that's outside your comfort zone.
I just was mentioning to Scott, I got a challenge from the guy that runs the 777. He said, hey, Owens, in April next year, it's coming out April, we're doing a North Pole Marathon. Are you in? All right. There's a club in the world, and the club is that you've done all 7 continents and both poles. So when you do the 777, you get Antarctica, but then you got to go, if you want to be in the club, you got to go do the North Pole. And so I would bet you to Scott, it's gonna be $20,000 to do this next event. I don't have another $20,000. I spent $40,000 to do the 777. My wife said, this is it. Never again, right? I mean, this is way over the edge. Investing in yourself. Anyway, so in April, if I'm come up with $20,000, or some of you guys want to sponsor me or do whatever, I may end up doing that one. And then there's another one that a friend of mine did. He rode across the Atlantic. And there's now a race that goes from the Canary Islands to Antigua. And he did it in 42 days on a 6-man team. And he's going, hey, Robert, you've sailed the Atlantic, you ought to row it, you know? And I'm thinking, it's an aerobic exercise. It's not anaerobic, you know, you don't drive your heart. You just got to stay in the game. And so he and I are talking about that. I just was talking to a team in Hong Kong that may be looking for some guy to come help. That would be an over the top kind of a one too. But the most pending one may be this North Pole Marathon. How's that?